What's up, Eagles Nation? Welcome back to FlyEaglesFly News, the place where passion meets pure Philly energy. You already know what time it is. We got to talk about everything that's been stirring up the nest lately, from A.J. Brown standing tall for his quarterback Jalen Hurts, to Nick Sirianni starting to get visibly fed up with all the drama talk, and of course, the one thing that could be holding this whole team back right now, the offensive line. So buckle up, because this one's about to get real. Let's start with the whole A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts thing. Look, the media's been all over it like it's the next big scandal. But if you actually listen to what these guys are saying, it's not what people are trying to make it out to be. A.J. Brown came out and defended Hurts like a real teammate does. He basically said, "Man, if you've got eyes, you can see what's going on. This isn't about me not getting the ball or being salty about my numbers. It's about us as an offense not doing our job." And honestly, he's got a point. When you look at this Eagles team, the defense has been doing everything they can to bail the offense out week after week. You can't just keep relying on that forever. At some point, the offense has to start pulling its weight again. That's what AJ was trying to get across. But of course, it turns into headlines like A.J. Brown frustrated with Jalen Hurts. No, man, it's not about that. It's about accountability. It's about being tired of seeing the same mistakes on offense, when everyone knows they're better than that, and I like that A.J. didn't back down from it. He said it straight. He's not apologizing for being passionate. He's not throwing anyone under the bus. He's just trying to find some humor in a tough situation. Trying to push through it without losing his mind. That's not a diva move. That's leadership in disguise. Raw, emotional, real talk from a guy who hates losing. Now Jalen Hurts, on the other hand, he's handling all of this with that same calm, unbothered energy he always brings. Reporters keep trying to get a rise out of him, but Hurts just keeps redirecting the focus. He's like, "We got the Detroit Lions this week, and that's where my energy is, and that's exactly how a quarterback should act." He's not letting this A.J. Brown stuff become a distraction. He knows this matchup against Detroit isn't just another game. This could be the one that decides home field advantage down the line. Philly's got T-breakers against Tampa, Green Bay, the Rams, all these top-tier NFC teams. But Detroit, that's a statement game. And man, Detroit's not a team to play around with anymore. They've turned into a legit powerhouse. Even though they're missing a few key pieces, guys like Penei Sewell, Terry and Arnold, maybe Aidan Hutchinson dealing with some bumps and bruises, they still bring that fire. They've got one of the toughest cultures in the league now. And you know they've had this game circled since the schedule came out. This isn't the same old Lions team we used to laugh about. These dudes are physical, they're hungry, and they've been waiting to prove they belong among the NFC elite. So the Eagles better come correct, and that's why it's frustrating when all anyone wants to talk about is A.J. Brown's Twitch stream or what he said after practice. Like, come on, man, there's a massive showdown on Sunday night, and the media is stuck replaying clips instead of talking football. A.J.'s tired of it. Hurts is tired of it, and honestly, Nick Sirianni looks done with it too. You could see it in his last presser. Reporters asked him for the 1,000th time about AJ's comments, and Sirianni just snapped a little. He was like, "Guys, I'm close to being done answering these questions. AJ's working hard. He's part of the game plan. And that's it. That's coach talk for let it go already." The truth is, A.J. Brown wants to be here every time he speaks. You can feel that. He's frustrated, yeah. But not because he wants out. He's frustrated because he knows what this offense is capable of. He's looking around like, "Man, we got all this talent. Devonta Smith, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, and we're still not firing on all cylinders. What are we doing?" That's where the real tension comes from. It's not personal beef. It's professional frustration. And that leads us to the bigger problem, the offensive system. I don't care how many screenshots people post of AJ being wide open. If he's not the first read and Hurts is dealing with pressure in his face, those routes mean nothing. You can't throw deep if you don't have time. And that's where AJ's comments hit home. He said it himself. You can't keep slapping a Band-Aid on things and expect to fix it later in the season. The offense has to evolve now. Teams have already adjusted to what worked last year. The league adapts. The Eagles have to adapt too. And look, I said this before and I'll say it again. The real issue isn't AJ versus Jalen. It's the play calling. Kevin Patullo and the offensive staff just haven't found the rhythm. They don't seem to know how to scheme AJ open or build plays that play to his strengths. It's wild. Because you're talking about one of the most dynamic receivers in the league. You can't just send him on a go route and call it a day. You have to design the offense around his ability to create mismatches, to draw double teams, to open up space for everyone else now. This is where I start to question the decision-making upstairs. Why would you hand a championship-caliber offense to a first-time play caller who's never had to drive this kind of Ferrari before? It's like giving the keys to a teenager who just got his learner's permit. You don't do that when your team's window to win is right now. This isn't a rebuild. This isn't the time to experiment. You need someone who knows how to maximize the weapons you've got, and right now, it feels like the coaching staff is still trying to figure out how to use what they have. It's crazy. Because you look how well Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert have been used in this scheme. Clearly, they know how to get those guys going. But when it comes to A.J. Brown and even Saquon Barkley, it's like they're guessing. There's no rhythm, no identity, and when the offense doesn't have an identity, the whole team feels it. That's when the defense starts to crack, because they're tired from bailing everyone out. That's when the frustration builds in the locker room. That's when your star players start speaking up. Not because they're divas, but because they care. And let's not forget the other part of this. The offensive line, that's the foundation of everything. You can talk all you want about play calling or quarterback reads, but if your line is banged up, it changes everything. Right now, that line looks like a hospital ward. Tyler Steen's hurt. Lane Johnson's been battling through stuff. Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, all dealing with injuries. The only one who's been relatively healthy is Jordan Mailata. And even he's been grinding through a long season. That's the same unit that went through the Super Bowl run. They've logged a ton of snaps. And the wear and tear is showing. When the offensive line isn't healthy, Jalen Hurts doesn't have the same pocket time. He's rushing. Through his progressions, he's trying to make something out of nothing. So yeah, people can say AJ was open on this play or that play. But when you've got pressure in your face after 3 seconds, there's not much you can do. That's why it's unfair to put this all on Hurts. AJ knows that. And that's why he defended him. He's like, yo, stop acting like this is on the quarterback. There's a lot more going on out there, so yeah. Maybe AJ shouldn't be airing things out on Twitch or dropping cryptic tweets. But at least he's passionate. At least he cares. At least he's not pretending like everything's fine when it's clearly not. Because if this team wants to get back to that Super Bowl level, they've got to fix what's broken. And it starts with the protection, the play calling, and the leadership from the top. And that, more than any viral quote or media headline, is the real story in Philly right now. So let's keep it real, Eagles fans. All this noise about locker room drama, media questions, and social media clips is nothing compared to what's actually going on between the lines. When you watch the tape, it's clear this team is still trying to find its identity on offense. Last season, they had rhythm. They had balance. Every drive felt like a statement, running the ball, moving the chains, setting up play action, and letting Jalen Hurts dictate the tempo. Now it feels like they're overthinking everything. Too many stalled drives. Too many predictable calls. Too many moments where it looks like nobody's on the same page. You can sense the frustration building, not just from A.J. Brown, but from everyone. Hurts doesn't say much publicly, but you can see it in his body language. He wants to be that calm leader. But when the offense keeps sputtering, it's hard not to show it. And Nick Sirianni, he's got to be walking that fine line between loyalty and responsibility. On one hand, he's got a young offensive coordinator he wants to trust. But on the other hand, he's got veterans in that locker room who have been to the top and know what it takes to get back there. You can't keep selling them patience when the window is now. That's what A.J. Brown's words really come down to. He's not trying to stir up controversy. He's trying to light a fire. He's trying to wake everyone up before it's too late. Because he knows what happens when a team this talented doesn't evolve. The league catches up. Defenses start reading your tendencies. Your timing falls apart. Suddenly, those easy throws from last year turn into coverage sacks. And instead of celebrating in the end zone, you're punting from your own 40. And it's not because the players forgot how to play. It's because the scheme didn't grow with them. Think about it. Last year, Hurts had time to survey the field. The offensive line gave him 3 seconds to operate. That allowed AJ and Devonta to break free downfield. And it made play action deadly. This year, the pocket collapses faster. The timing's off. that's not just about physical health, it's about chemistry and confidence. When you're missing snaps together, when every week someone's on the injury report, the trust between the quarterback and his line starts to waver. Hurts is trying to stay composed, but you can tell he's feeling that pressure, literally and mentally. And that's why AJ stepping up for him matters. In a league where wide receivers get labeled selfish the second they open their mouth, A.J. Brown's actually doing what leaders do. He's standing up for his guy, saying, this isn't all on him. He's redirecting the blame where it belongs, on the system and the preparation. He's calling out the fact that this offense isn't living up to its potential. And that's something that needs to be said. The only problem is the delivery. Doing it on Twitch or on social media lets people twist the message. It gives critics ammo, but the message itself, it's valid. Nick Sirianni knows that too. You could see it in his face when reporters kept pushing about AJ's comments. He's trying to protect his player, but he's also dealing with the reality that these questions keep coming, because there's truth underneath them. If this team was lighting up scoreboards, nobody would care about a few frustrated quotes. Winning makes everything easier. But when the offense looks stuck, every sentence becomes a headline. That's why Sirianni's tone has shifted. He's no longer giving detailed answers about play design or rhythm. He's just saying, we're working hard and moving on. That's coach speak for we're still figuring it out. And that's the issue. By this point in the season, the Eagles should not still be figuring it out. They have one of the most complete rosters in the league. They have stars at every position, from wide receiver to cornerback, from running back to linebacker. This isn't a team trying to discover who they are. They already know who they are, or at least they used to. Somewhere between the Super Bowl run and now, that offensive identity got lost. And it's not because the talent disappeared. It's because the system stopped playing to their strengths. That's where leadership at the top comes in. Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie built this roster to win now. They didn't stack all this talent to watch it go to waste, because the play caller's learning on the job. You can't treat a championship window like a development program. That's not how this league works. Every year you waste with this level of talent is a year you don't get back. You've got veterans who've given their bodies to this game, and they want results. A.J. Brown knows that. Lane Johnson knows that. Jason Kelce, especially, knows that. These guys have been through battles together. They're not trying to rebuild chemistry. They're trying to raise another banner. The frustrating part is that the pieces are all there. The defense is solid. The special teams have improved, and the offense, when it clicks, still looks unstoppable. It's not like they've lost their touch completely. You can still see flashes of that dominant 2020 squad. Hurts still has the poise. Brown and Smith still torch corners when they get opportunities. Barkley, even if he's not fully unleashed, has the potential to open up the entire playbook. It's all there. It just hasn't come together consistently. FlyEaglesFly News family, smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments and let's talk birds. The NFL rumor mill has kicked into overdrive after ESPN confirmed what many insiders had been whispering for weeks. The Philadelphia Eagles are closing in on a deal with free agent safety Justin Simmons, the former Denver Bronco, a two-time All-Pro and one of the most respected defensive leaders in the league, has reportedly caught the attention of several contenders. But Philadelphia appears to have surged ahead in the race for his signature, while no official contract details have surfaced. Sources close to the situation suggest mutual interest between the player and the team. The Eagles secondary, which has faced scrutiny for its inconsistency this season, could use a stabilizing veteran presence. Simmons, known for his intelligence, ball-hawking ability, and locker room leadership, fits that mold perfectly. It's not done yet, but it's serious. One insider hinted the Eagles are pushing hard and Simmons is listening. Adding fuel to the speculation, Simmons was recently spotted in the Philadelphia area, sparking a wave of fan excitement online. Social media lit up with posts imagining the safety donning midnight green, with many calling it the missing piece in the team's defensive puzzle. Analysts have noted that Philadelphia's front office has a history of late-season moves designed to inject experience and poise into the roster, a hallmark of their recent playoff runs. Still, negotiations in the NFL are rarely straightforward. Other franchises reportedly remain in the mix, and Simmons has maintained a patient approach to his next move, emphasizing the importance of fit over finances. Yet, with the Eagles emerging as one of the few legitimate Super Bowl hopefuls, In need of a veteran safety, the match feels natural if the deal goes through. It would mark another bold stroke from Philadelphia's front office, one that could shift the balance of power in the NFC. For now, though, it remains a tantalizing whisper in a league that thrives on them. The Eagles' pursuit of Justin Simmons is still just talk, but it's the kind of talk that refuses to fade away. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.